This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
Hit us up anytime. We are live, local, and reachable. Local, I'm putting a big emphasis on that because we're actually here in Edmonton, unlike some other shows that pretend they are. They're not.
Well, they have someone in there that does like the local traffic and stuff, so it sounds like they're local. They're messing with you. We're not. We're actually here. We're looking at Calgary Trail right now.
There it is.
Look at it. It's right there.
Beautiful. Look at that beautiful little road.
Wait, we're actually lying because the windows are closed, but it is right there.
See how easy it is to lie?
Ryder, I just got a question, buddy. You were saying a celebrity had a little birthday and she just turned 40 and then she blew out a bunch of candles and lit up her hair.
Yeah, that was Nicole Richie.
I just think it's pretty nasty to be blowing out candles with COVID kind of kicking around, don't you think?
Oh my gosh, that is such a valid point because it was a huge cake that it looked like she would be sharing with the table she was with.
I was just thinking, oh, what a beautiful way to spread your whatever you got.
You know which one to me I'm really grossed out by now, and I never even thought about it before?
What?
What's that? Buddy?
Shaking hands after a slow pitch game.
Oh, yeah, no, that's kind of nasty.
Well, because everybody was just, exercising, sweating in gloves, touching bats, spitting in their hands.
True. To keep yourself safe, wash your hands. People are, getting sick because they are not washing their hands, right?
It seems like people, they were washing their hands a lot at first, and now they've kind of gone back to their regular hand washing routine, and it's not enough.
It's not enough is right. Go to the washroom, wash your hands. Before I even eat anything that I'm going to use with my hands, I wash my hands. It's I see some guys at work, they got a large bag of chips or popcorn, and you want some, and then they're all digging in, and I'm like, no, man, forget it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, right?
Yeah, totally.
Individual bags of chips only from now on.
Well, hey, if you got a big bag, just drop the stuff, give me pour me out a little bit kind of thing, right?
Good point. Hey, I got a question for you about the Nicole Richie blowing out the candles thing.
Yeah, man.
Would it be rude or appropriate if you were her friend who were standing nearby and when her hair lit on fire, you just smashed her face into the cake to put it out?
Oh, God. Hey, I'm just trying to help you out, girl.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to eat that cake now anyway, so we might as well put it to good use.
Absolutely. I love your thoughts, man. I love your thoughts.
Thanks for the call, Luke. Appreciate it. Inspired by 6 a.m. Listener Club member Luke. What is something that you now realize is kind of gross? Spitballs is one of the texts we got, which is true. Just flying germs followed by wind.
I'm definitely more aware of making out with a stranger. It's show me your card. Your vaccine. I don't know.
Is that going to be a thing?
No, I'm just kidding.
Now it's not just the restaurants checking those, it's the people inside.
Jenna texted into our show saying, when you'd go to work and someone would just be casually standing beside you telling you that they have the flu. Nobody's going to work sick anymore, are they? Because that used to be really normal. You would hear somebody coughing in the kitchen while they're stirring their coffee, and you'd be like, oh, you're not feeling well?
You'd
and then you'd be fine with it.
Yeah, you'd walk up and touch their back and be like, hey, you okay? Can I get you anything?
And then you'd start using the coffee machine they just touched. What was wrong with us?
And you start making out with them?
No.
Bowling alleys and eating at bowling alleys because people are touching all the bowling balls and touching food and no one's washing hands. It's disgusting.
Ew. Yeah, you rarely see people in the bathroom at the bowling alley. That's a red flag.
Yeah, people are eating food, licking their fingers, rubbing it off of their pants, touching the bowling balls. It's disgusting.
Especially the ones that you put your fingers in.
Yeah.
I actually read a stat once that said that there's more fecal matter in those bowling ball holes than an actual toilet seat. It's disgusting.
Oh,
well, that's because nobody takes a dump on the seat.
Okay, well, you know what I mean. Ski resort employees that work in the Swiss Alps need to keep that snow on the top of their mountains as long as possible just to keep, business afloat. This is kind of interesting. They've discovered ways to keep the snow from melting on the top of the mountains by laying out these massive, almost fleece blankets, but they're the same size as 14 football fields. So they lay them across the top of these mountains to stop the snow and ice from melting because they're bright white, so they reflect the rays away like ultra white paint would.
Interesting.
Isn't that fascinating?
And so then they have to make less, which is better for the environment, which is, I'm sure, why this is such a big win.
Yeah, so it just keeps the snow thick and crisp for the winter holidays. And then eventually, when the heat has passed, they'll spend another 4 to 6 weeks peeling the blankets off again. It's just kind of a weird thing that they're doing, but I thought it was interesting and cool.
And they just have a great base for snow. It'll be interesting to see when you mess with the planet, though.
Yeah, I
when
know.
you mess with nature, like, are they going to have the worst avalanches of all time there in a few years?
That's a really good question.
Interesting, though.
Tell me something good.
My story is about the population growth in rhinos. Since poaching rates have dipped in East Asia, we're seeing certain species, like one specifically, was down to 100, and they're at 3,700 today.
Wow.
So it's nice to see all of the laws against poaching and what it's actually doing to keep some of these species around. It's pretty easy to get them to breed, too, rhinos, because they're so horny.
Well, every time people bring up rhinos, all I think of is that Jim Carrey scene in Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
And I can't stop thinking about it. That scene is traumatizing. I can't believe I watched that at such a young age, and I was like, this
Honestly.
is normal. This is normal.
True.
Tell me something good.
It's time for a brand new episode of Unsung Heroes, where we give shout outs to people, places, and things that don't always get the attention they deserve. Let me be your hero.
Shout out to people that put their cutlery in the dishwasher with the handle facing up. You are smarter than people who put the handle in first. Yeah, you heard me.
Just coming to work with one thing on your mind, picking fights. People
I
take
said
that
it.
seriously.
I know. And people that have like the fork, like the pointy part sticking up. Why?
Well, because quite often there's those little slots that just...
Yeah, but no,
Okay.
it's too much work.
Okay. Shout out to the Fugees, who will reunite after 15 years apart, whether you're ready or not.
That's good. You should tweet that. Shout out to it officially being fall today. I've already been switching between my 6 pairs of black leggings, toques, and slamming pumpkin cold foam cold brews for like a month now. So
You've embraced, you're ready for winter.
I'm seasoned.
Shout out to McDavid and Draisaitl saying that they have another gear that we haven't seen yet.
What?
As exciting as that sounds, I just don't know why they wouldn't have used it against Winnipeg last year in playoffs.
Shout out to people who wake up with rise and grind mentality. If by grind you mean coffee beans, then sure. But like an hour of HIIT workout or spin class? No. No.
Shout out to National Camouflage Day earlier this week. Sadly, I didn't see anyone celebrating it.
Shout out to grocery stores that have pumpkins in those big baskets outside of the store. What if I just took one? Just one. Like, there's no price tag on it. What if, I just took it? What if I just took one?
That's stealing.
Is it? There's no
Yes.
price tag on
No,
it.
it's stealing.
And, like, it's made outside. Like, it's a natural
No.
thing that grows.
Definitely stealing.
They're $4, though.
Oh, you do know how much they cost.
Well, I look, there's a price tag, but not on
Oh.
each pumpkin.
Okay.
It was just on the basket.
So it is stealing.
Should I take one?
No.
Okay.
And finally, shout out to anti-vaxxers being very upset with Seth MacFarlane for his Family Guy COVID vaccine PSA. It's cute that you think Seth MacFarlane cares if you or anyone is offended by anything.
True.
Like, you got the wrong guy if you're looking for an apology. You are pretty excited about something that is coming to Edmonton in the near future, Lisa.
Yeah, October 15th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Friday, October 15th, the halftime performance at the Elks game, Hanson. And at first I was like, is this a cover band? Are they just messing with me? Because that's happened to me before. I remember in elementary school, and I'm still scarred from it. Everyone was buzzing that the Spice Girls were going to be performing for us at an assembly.
Yeah?
So all of us were just freaking out. And then it turns out it was just the teachers dressed up as the Spice Girls lip syncing. And to this day,
You just hate all those teachers.
well,
still, eh?
it haunts me. So when I saw a video of Isaac Taylor and Zach saying, yeah,
Oh,
we're going to be,
Don't be first naming them.
you gotta.
What? Okay.
I love them. So Mbop came out in 97. So I was 7 years old. So I'm such a fan. I just hope that it's still as good now that I'm 31.
Here's them making the announcement.
Hey everybody, we're Hanson, and we are going to be in Edmonton on October 15th.
We are going to see you live. We're going to be at the Elks halftime in Brickfield at Cumberland Stadium. Absolutely. Get your tickets right now so you can have a chance to rock out with us. It's going to be awesome.
See you there.
Go Elks. See you there.
There it is.
They look amazing.
They do, hey?
Yeah, I'm excited. And I even like their music that they had like later on in their careers too.
Name a song.
Penny.
Okay,
Penny
good.
and I.
Listen, I was trying to put you on the spot there because I just didn't even know they came out with other music.
Don't you remember their song, I Will Come to You?
Yeah, I think that it rings a bell
It's like
for
a
sure.
slower song. It's so
I kind of
good.
get them confused with the Moffats sometimes.
Well, they're both Canadian bands with 3 members.
No, Hanson's not Canadian.
Wait a minute.
Hanson's not Canadian.
Is the Moffat? They have 4 members.
Yeah, I think.
See, I'm not as big of a fan as the Moffats. Sorry.
All right. I, too, was a pretty big fan of Mbop to the point that I learned it on the recorder back in the day. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to show you.
Maybe they'll bring you on stage with them at the game.
Hey, maybe.
Ryder's recorder. Ryder has no actual skills.
What do you think?
That was good. That was really good.
Maybe they will bring me up.
You should send that to them.
Do they all still have long hair though? Because then
No.
I'd be out.
They actually don't. They do still have hair, but it's not as long as it was back in the 90s.
So the details on that game again. If you're interested, you can get tickets. They are available right now, and that is for Friday, October 15th.
Yep, so Ticketmaster.ca.
Play 107.
So you brought up that back in the day, you were told in school that the Spice Girls were coming.
Yeah, the whole school was buzzing in elementary. We all gathered in the gymnasium for an assembly.
And you actually thought the Spice Girls had come over from London to perform a show for your elementary school in St. Albert.
Yeah, because that's what the teachers told us.
Okay.
So we're all sitting there losing our minds, like, can't wait to get home and tell my parents this. And then it was just teachers dressed up in costumes lip syncing. And so after I told this story on air, I can't believe how common this is.
A bunch of people texting in with their stories of
Yes.
disappointment.
Haley wrote in saying, Lisa, the exact same thing happened to me in elementary, except we were told it was Britney Spears. So we were all screaming like crazy, so excited. And yeah, just a teacher in a silly costume. We were all so upset and felt so ripped off.
And I would imagine the performance, let's be honest, teacher performances, do they have the actual time or the energy to like make it pop? My guess is no. My guess is you're throwing it in a bit. You know what I mean?
The principal is like, all right, we have to do this.
Yeah, somebody has to do it. It's your turn.
It's probably actually pretty fun for them. Let's be real. Joel wrote in saying, my aunt and uncle took my cousin when she was little to see Shania Twin. They told her it was the real Shania. So she got to go on stage and everything. When she was in her 20s, she was bragging to her friends about how she was on stage with Shania Twain back in the day. My aunt and uncle had to burst her bubble and told her the truth that it was just Shania Twin.
They didn't
And
impersonate her?
she was devastated. Okay, but Shania Twin is a really funny name for an impersonator.
Totally. I had an experience like that growing up where I found out that there was going to be an NHL game in Lloyd, which was close to my hometown.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So you got on the bike and like headed to Lloyd, or how did that shake down?
It would be about a 17-hour bike ride.
Oh,
So-
sorry. I don't know enough about Lloyd Monster is what my friends call it.
No, so my parents are like, yeah, we can get tickets. We'll go. So, like, I'm jacked. I thought we were going to watch an Oiler game
No, what
in
happened?
Lloyd. And, like, sometimes they do now travel to do preseasons. Back then, they didn't. I get to the rink, and it's there are two NHL old timers that were like doing a charity tour, and they played with like the local media members, and it was against like one of the lame teams in Lloyd. It was the worst hockey game I've ever seen. There was like two 65-year-old retired NHLers nobody's ever heard of, and that's like it packed the rink. I thought we were going to an NHL game, so there was some disappointment. Full circle, 15 years later, probably-ish, I end up on that media team playing with the NHL old-timers and disappointing kids for sure with my skills.
Ryder and Lisa.
Nicole Ritchie lit her hair on fire while blowing out candles. Have you ever had your hair go up was the question that we asked at 780-784-7107.
On my 21st birthday, I had a flaming shooter. I don't know what it was, but I burnt both sides of my hair, and I smelled like burnt hair all night.
But you were okay?
I was okay for sure, and it's a great memory, but not fun really to have your hair smell like that all night long.
Lisa, did you have tons of hairspray? Was this like when the back home era was all the rage?
Yeah, I probably did have some hairspray in there. I had some big bangs going on for sure.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey, this is Riley. How's it going?
Good, Riley. You got a story about your hair going up?
Yeah, so I have long hair, and I was working at the sawmill, and they had candles. You have to light candles at the beginning of service. And I leaned over, and my tie lit on fire, and then my hair lit on fire. The whole entire restaurant smelled like burnt hair. It was so embarrassing.
But you were okay.
Oh, I'm fine, yeah.
So did the tie go from like a long tie to more of a bow tie?
Yeah, you could say that.
All right. Thank you for the call. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.
Cynthia texted in saying her cat backed up into a candle and caught her tail on fire, but luckily Cynthia was right there to put it out. A poor kitty.
Oh, my God.
So sad.
Totally.
We also got this text from Marie. First-time texter, thank you so much for listening to our show and contributing. It means the world to us. Man, this show would be boring if it was just you and I talking.
Yeah, big time.
So Marie says, I have a good hair burning story. Grade 6 graduation. We all had candles to walk into the ceremony. The girl behind me got a little too close and my hair went up. All of a sudden, a teacher was hitting me. And I didn't even know that my hair was on fire. My mom sprayed perfume in my hair to get it to not smell as bad.
Oh, my goodness.
Felt like the end of the world in that grade. Yeah, I bet.
That happened when I was in church, too. A girl came in, and everybody was carrying candles up the, I don't know. Alley. Aisle. That's right. Anyway, and she put her head down, and her hair caught on fire, and they had to use the holy water. They dunked her head in the holy water to put her hair out.
I know this kind of seems like a pun, but like she's blessed.
Very blessed.
That water was there.
Totally.
So my dad celebrated his 50th this summer, and a friend of his made him a beautiful homemade ice cream cake. And his wife, which is like my stepmom, she was coming up the stairs, and of course we wanted to include my daughter, given it's his only granddaughter. So when she leaned over the stairs to help pick the tray up, the front of her hair caught on fire. Thankfully, it was put out very quickly. It didn't cause any damage to her, but we near lost her hair and the cake. She was totally okay. She was singing happy birthday like it was like it didn't even happen. Meanwhile, my stepmom and her best friend were like having a heart attack.
Yeah, I bet. Everybody else was just quietly like, happy birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm calling about the hair on fire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was in junior high, this is going back many, many years, I was in music class, and there was this girl that she was notorious for always putting on way, way, way too much hairspray. And she was a smoker, so she had her lighter in her hand, and she was one day flicking it. And all of a sudden, there was a gigantic flash in a class and this gigantic fireball. And she just kind of everybody looked back at her, and she was just kind of in shock because she was just on fire. So it can happen.
And she was okay?
Yeah, she was fine. I mean, she was just engulfed in flames for just about half a second. But yeah, it was definitely a shocker for everybody in class.
It was like one of those woof, and then it was gone.
Pretty much, yeah. But it definitely made the music class more interesting that day.
Wait a minute. She was smoking in music class?
No, she was just playing with her lighter.
Oh. I was just going to say, like, that's a cool move. Music class, you got your guitar, light a dart at school.
That is so funny. So the reason we're talking about this is because Nicole Richie celebrated her 40th and her hair lit on fire from blowing out her candles. So if you want to see the video, it's actually kind of funny. She's okay. That's why we can say that it's kind of funny. It's on Play 107's Instagram story. Go check it out.
We're talking about strange dip combos. So what are you dipping and into what? This after a buddy of mine last night let us know that he's never dipped fries in a milkshake or in like a Wendy's Frosty.
Which is actually illegal. If you order a milkshake and fries, you have to dip.
Yeah.
When you dip, I dip, we dip. Danielle wrote in saying, Dad's chocolate chip cookies in apple juice. Some of these answers on the text line are going to blow your mind, Ryder. Stephanie says, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches dipped in mushroom soup.
No.
Who's doing that? Why are you doing that?
That's a bad one. I don't like that one.
What's even going through your head as you are, like, you're eating... Why are you making them together in the first place? Who started this?
Also that.
Heather says, my husband likes to dip peanut butter honey toast in his tomato soup.
Again, why are you making that together?
Why are you doing that?
780-784-7107. Justin said Cool Ranch Doritos into a nice hot cup of coffee is criminally underrated.
My dad was big into, he'd get home from work and open the Doritos and dip them in sour cream, which is good because it's essentially like nachos.
Right.
At first, when I was young, I would be like, that's weird, Dad. But now I'm like, oh, wait, my dad's just a genius. There's a difference. Pizza dipped into sour cream, says Shiloh.
Well, somebody said pizza crust dipped into Coke or Pepsi.
Yes.
Which I don't want to knock these before I try them, but some of them I don't think I'm ever going to try. I'm not going to be like, yeah, I got to make that mushroom soup and that peanut butter and jelly sandwich today.
Would you dip pretzels in ranch? That sounds good to me, Miranda's text.
My daughter's big one is pretzels and ginger ale, and she discovered this while on a flight. And, you know, you have your options, pretzels or cookies. She got pretzels, had her ginger ale. I think she dropped one in her ginger ale by accident. And then she got it out and she's like, oh my goodness.
Sweet and salty.
Now she'll eat that all the time.
Paige says goldfish crackers in my milk. Wait, so you make it like it's cereal?
Oh,
I can't handle these texts. I'm like gagging.
Play 107.
We're talking about strange dip combos.
Okay, we just got the most wholesome text from Steve.
Okay.
He says, when I was in elementary school, my dad would have toast and tea ready for me every morning. The toast always got dipped into the tea. It was delicious. The heel of the toast was by far the best part of the toast to dip. My neighbor used to save me all of her heels and bring them over. That was always the best day of the week. My heart is exploding at how simple and silly that is, but what an amazing memory. And it's true. You learn about dipping weird things. Mostly it happens because you watch your parents do it or you watch older people do it and you're like, I want to try that.
Totally. 780-784-7107.
Olivia says, I dip my bread in my red wine.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense if you think about even just dipping your bread into the balsamic vinegar and oil.
Yeah. Well, and I know at church, like back in the day, they used to actually rip you off chunks of bread that you would then dip in wine. And that's how you took like the body and blood of Christ.
Christina texted in saying, I like to dip my French fries in honey and then dip them in ketchup. But also my aunt is from Toronto and she taught me to dip salt and vinegar chips from the freezer in vinegar for more flavor.
I don't know about that one.
It's making my mouth water. Like I kind of want to try it.
I don't mind that fries in honey and then ketchup. I think that would be a nice combo.
You know, totally. I love like chicken nuggets and honey. It's such a good combo.
What's up?
I actually have a weird one that my dad does.
Let's hear it.
So he likes to take raw hot dogs and dip it right into the peanut butter jar and eat them.
What?
Oh, no.
Have you tried it?
No.
That's awful.
Now, when your dad does this, are we talking like sits down to watch TV and he's got like a 6-pack of hot dogs, or does he just do one?
No, he's got the whole pack.
Oh, no.
Is it the communal
it's like
peanut
a
butter?
giant- What?
Is it the communal peanut butter? Like you use that for your toast?
Yeah. But we ended up having to get him to buy 2 peanut butter jars, one for him and one for us, because it's like the juice is still in the peanut butter jar.
Oh, that's amazing.
That is so funny. How often is he doing this?
As often as he can. He's been doing it for years.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.